Koei Tecmo is really they're a company that was not really on my radar for the most part until the Nintendo Switch. And the reason that they were not on my radar is because I never played any of the Dynasty Warriors games. I never touched any of them. I've heard good things about them. I watched footage of them, and I was incredibly unimpressed and wasn't interested at all. Then Fire Emblem Warriors came out, and I picked up Fire Emblem Warriors for the Nintendo Switch, and I played it because I do enjoy Fire Emblem a lot, and I wanted to check out the game and see what it was like. I played it probably about 10 or 15 hours, and something distracted me. It didn't hold my attention too much, but I was impressed with the gameplay. I thought it was really fun. So I was much more likely to check out Hyrule Warriors when that came to the Nintendo Switch. Hyrule Warriors was originally on the Wii U, and then later on the 3DS, for crying out loud. And then they kind of combined everything from those two games and put them out, everything from those two games on the Switch. And I played through that and beat it and had so much fun. That game was really good. And I kept telling myself I'm going to go back to Fire Emblem Warriors and play that one, finish that off, probably start from the beginning because I don't really remember how to play. But I've just been distracted and haven't gotten around to it. But the reason I'm talking about this is because they've got a new game coming to the Nintendo Switch. Well, it's not really a new game. It is actually a remake of an older game, but it's new to me because I've never played it, and that would be Samurai Warriors 4 DX. It's coming to the PlayStation 4 as well as the Switch. This is coming out on March 14th, 2019 in Japan for 5,800 yen. We don't know when it's coming to the US. Now, what does it have? Well, it is considered, this is via Gematsu, a complete edition of the game, which has lots and lots of downloadable content. I guess 150 pieces of downloadable content that has costumes, weapons, customizations, scenarios, background music. The game comes with, in addition to the standard edition, there's also a 15th anniversary box, which is coming out for 14,800 yen. That is going to include a copy of the game, obviously, a 64-page art book, soundtrack and music video set, including 4 CDs. CDs? Who the hell has a CD player? And 4 DVDs. I don't own a DVD player. I guess I could play it on my PS4. Featuring music videos that mix events with the background music from each title, all housed in a special case, and a 144-card postcard set featuring illustrations used for treasure box editions of various previous Samurai Warriors titles. Now, I am interested in playing this if it comes to the US because I had so much fun with Hyrule Warriors and with Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm not holding up my Hyrule Warriors game because I got that digitally. But I had a lot of fun playing these games, and so I am interested in playing more games from Koei Tecmo. Now, another reason that I put this on the show notes today is because I wanted to talk about the Game Awards. The Game Awards are coming up on Thursday, which is the 6th, at, I believe, 8:30 p.m. So, p.m., I think that's Eastern. I'm not sure. But, that's going to be on Thursday. And it's kind of turned into a second E3. There's going to be a lot of announcements there. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because Koei Tecmo is supposed to announce something on Thursday. I don't think it would be this, not a remake of a game. So they've got something. The teaser that they showed was like it said something in Japanese. I can't remember what it is. Like the battle will begin or something like that, and then the date. And that date was 12/6. So that would be really smart for them to do it. I don't imagine that they would do a huge announcement on the day of the Game Awards and not have it be part of the Game Awards, if that makes sense. So I think that we're going to be getting another Warriors game from Koei Tecmo, or it could be like a Ninja Gaiden game, because I know that that's a pretty popular series. I've only ever played the original NES Ninja Gaiden, and I think the second one as well, which was also on the NES. But those are the only two that I've played. I've heard they're incredibly hard. I know that the original one was, but I'm looking forward to seeing what is announced at the Game Awards. Now, that's a reason. This whole thing has kind of been a transition into what do I think is going to be announced at the Game Awards. I have no idea, but let's see, what do I want announced? What do I think might be announced? Well, this is funny. Right as I was getting ready to record the show, a good friend of mine, Daz, also known as Lloyd from the Nintendo Pulse podcast, which if you haven't subscribed to that, you should. He sent me a message from Pixel Buster on Twitter, who has found that there's a Swedish retailer called iNet. They have listed Metroid Prime Trilogy for Switch, and they used a VPN in order to take a look at that store, because I guess you couldn't look at it unless you were in Sweden. So they used a VPN, and they were able to see that it was there. Now, this could just be a rumor, but Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Switch makes a lot of sense, especially if you're going to have Metroid Prime 4 come to the Switch, and I'm going to guess next holiday, that's when I would put it. I would put it next holiday, and it would make a lot of sense for them to say, okay, here's Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Nintendo Switch. It comes out on, I'm going to guess, probably January or, probably the first 3 months of the year, probably the first quarter. I think that would be the best place for this game to be released. And that would make perfect sense for them to unveil Metroid Prime Trilogy at the Game Awards. What else could possibly be announced at the Game Awards from Nintendo? I have no idea. I think there's a possibility. There's been talk of a new Zelda game that's coming sooner rather than later. We talked about that that slip from the guy who was talking about the editor of Game Informer, I believe. I think that we could possibly see some Animal Crossing footage at the Game Awards. That would make a lot of sense for them to show that off. I don't think that we'll see an actual trailer for Metroid Prime 4. I think Nintendo will save that for E3 next year, especially if it's going to be a holiday launch. I do think that there's a possibility that we could see, oh God, what's the name of it? My just went right out of my brain. Fire Emblem Three Houses, especially because we just had an update to the Fire Emblem World website where they've got a whole bunch. They've got like a blog on there now. They've got this is a Japanese website, but there's a bunch of information about Fire Emblem at the nintendo.co.jp/fe. They just updated that site recently, so I expect that we would probably see some kind of information about Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I kind of expected to have already played that game by now. I thought it was coming out early this year, but it looks like it might be coming next year, and it makes a lot of sense for them to unveil a Fire Emblem game at the Game Awards. Some people would say that doesn't make sense because it's such a niche title, but Fire Emblem is really, really big right now, especially those 3DS titles sold really, really well. And with Smash Ultimate on the way, featuring lots and lots of Fire Emblem characters, you've got Marth and Roy. There's Roy there, and Corrin, and the other guys whose name I can't remember now, because they all kind of, I don't really think people are going to be mad at me, but I don't really think that they have very unique personalities. But that's fine. I still like the games, and I still think that Fire Emblem Three Houses is going to be a lot of fun. But I want to know, what do you guys think is going to be announced at the Game Awards? We've got only 2 days before it happens, so if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know down below. You can call and leave a voicemail at 260-RUN-JUMP. You can email me, runjumpstomp@gmail.com, and you can get a hold of me on Twitter at runjumpstomp. So many ways to let me know what you think. Please do.